Yes, they flew in their bid the day before, but not wanting to take any chances, of course, and I think this is par for the course on major bids, they also drove it there in case there were weather problems or, God forbid, there had been a plane crash to ensure that their bid arrived at the appointed time and therefore was considered by the United States Air Force. I think Boeing had their bid there at 9 o'clock in the morning, so 5 hours before the time it was due. I don't know the precise chronology of the arrival of this other company's attempted bid, but the bottom line is they didn't make it in time. And there are very strict contracting rules that the federal government has on the books that preclude us from even considering bids that do not arrive by the prescribed time. So our hands are tied here. And, I think any professional contractor understands how hard and fast these deadlines are and go to extraordinary measures in order to ensure that they are there well before those deadlines. As I said yesterday, this is a $30 to $40 billion contract. This is not a high school homework assignment, okay? These deadlines count, and any professional contractor understands that. Yeah. Just to be
clear, the source selection process has not been stopped this week.
Absolutely
because
not.
of it.
Absolutely not. This is going on. We will award this contract in the fall, as we always said we would. I mean, Tony, this contract has, we've been trying to replace these tankers for what, 3, 4, 5 years now, at least 10 years before my time. 10 years. We in May put out the solicitation offer. The request for proposals. That was a 60-day window. In order to ensure competition, we took the extraordinary measure of extending that window by another 60 days. There were 120 days in which anyone could have submitted a bid for consideration. 2 companies made it. A third evidently did not. But there was ample opportunity, ample warning for people to get bids in if they were serious about competing for this contract.
This is a credible company, this U.S. Aerospace.
I can't even tell you that because we are not allowed by law to even review their proposal. It did not arrive in time, so we cannot consider it. We cannot review it. Yeah, Gordon.
News editor.
You on this?
No.
Okay.
Just quick on Pakistan flooding. Can you just quick update us on whatever you've got there?
Sure.
And can you also characterize the ability, how welcome is American assistance in Pakistan? Is it an issue at all politically on their end to accept, or to what degree they'll accept aid?
I don't believe that is in any way a hurdle to our contributions to this disaster relief and humanitarian assistance. In fact, I think there has been a request made of the United States government for assistance in the aftermath of this tragic flooding situation, in which I think the estimates are now of up to 1,500 dead, 1.5 million impacted by the floods. I mean, this sort of gets to Gopal's question, which goes to public opinion of America in Pakistan. Public opinion of America in Pakistan was at an all-time high in the aftermath of our assistance in the wake of the tragic earthquake a few years ago. We are, and this is what we try to do. This military is about more than war fighting, as you well know. We do a great deal of humanitarian work around the world, and we welcome any opportunity to showcase that and to try to be helpful. I can tell you in this case that we have, there are 6 helicopters right now, U.S. helicopters, that are supporting relief operations in Pakistan. There are 4 CH-47s and 2 UH-60s. These aircraft on August the 5th, which was what, yesterday? Today? I think today, today in Pakistan, flew 18 sorties, transporting 66,000 pounds of relief supplies, and evacuated 800 people from flood-affected areas. And we have, I think, as of yesterday, delivered nearly 437,000 halal ready-to-eat meals. I can tell you additionally that we are working with the government of Pakistan to try to assess if additional U.S. military support is required. And we are even beginning the process of potentially posturing forces to be able to provide that help if it is deemed necessary. This is a little bit it's a little bit difficult because on one hand we desire to be as helpful as possible, and we will go to extraordinary measures to provide help if it is needed. But at the same time, the assets that have been deployed thus far are being taken from operations in Afghanistan. We can do that for some period of time, but ultimately they are required in the theater of combat, and so we are looking at how to, if indeed we are needed over an extended period of time, how to meet the demand in Pakistan without adversely impacting operations in Afghanistan. We will find a way, if we are needed, to balance both needs, but that's what we're working on right now.
But that means maybe going to other combatant commands and borrowing assets.
I don't know that necessarily means going to other combatant commands. I mean, there are other assets within this combatant command, but we're working on it. I don't have anything more for you beyond that. Yeah, Kevin.
Jeff, I wonder if you could tell, what is your understanding of why Michael Hastings' latest embed request, or actually was already in the works, was pulled back from him, and from where did that decision come? Was it there's a little bit of confusion of whether that was a decision made by ISAF, by RC South, or even the 101st, where this request originated from?
This is of interest to you.
It is.
Really? You writing on the subject?
On the Pentagon's treatment of embed requests?
Yeah.
We have before. Okay. It's affected our own reporters.
Well, listen, the best person or people to direct this question to would be the public affairs folks at ISAF. They're the ones who are handling this situation. I'm not in any way trying to distance myself or this building from their decision. Well, we completely support their decision. But this was their decision. And let's just go back and remember what this embedding process is all about. As you've heard from my colleagues, this is by no means a right. It is a privilege. It is based upon an essential trusting relationship between a unit commander and the embedded reporter. And if there is not that trust, then that reporter has the potential to adversely impact operations, the well-being of the forces within that unit. And so we empower unit commanders. So when you say you want to embed somewhere, you make a request of a particular unit, that commander has the wherewithal to say, I want Kevin or I don't want Kevin. I know Kevin. I trust Kevin. He's a credible guy. When he says he's going to abide by ground rules, he does. He is a positive influence in my unit. He is not going to in any way undermine cohesion or morale or distract from the operations that we have to conduct. With your blessing, we would proceed, or the ISAF Public Affairs Office would proceed with facilitating that embedding situation. So that's where this begins. In this case, I think the ISAF Public Affairs Shop made a determination that in light of how he conducted himself on a previous engagement with their command, they did not trust him to do as he says he would do. They did not trust him to respect ground rules that have to be set in situations like this. And they told him that they were going to revoke the invitation that had been extended to him to embed with the unit he had requested. I don't think anybody back here had any problem with their decision. I think we are completely understanding of the leeriness, the apprehension that they would have about authorizing this reporter to embed with one of their units in light of the problems they had had with him on a recent engagement in which ground rules, according to the Public Affairs Shop, were not respected. And the results are obvious to all of us. But they have the authority to make those decisions, and they are completely supported by us back here.
Okay, that's fine. My problem with what you're saying is that you keep mentioning this is a previous engagement, it wasn't a previous embed rule, and it's my understanding that that the military can decide to deny embed requests based on a lot of reasons, a lot of which are explicitly spelled out in the embed directive, the rule, and that his time with McChrystal was not an embed, was not related to any of his previous embed work. This is he's done years and years of embed work, including just this most recent one. So is there an explicit reason, if it's trustworthiness, were any commanding units given the option to accept this reporter, or was this is done at a political level, at ISAF level?
At a what level?
At a political level or a higher level to make it.
I don't know. Are there any politicians in ISAF? Are there any political appointees in ISAF? This is uniformed military personnel making judgments about what is in the best interests of the mission that they are tasked with executing and the units with which he would be embedded and their well-being in life and death situations. I don't know what is so hard to understand here. If you don't respect ground rules, how do you expect us to trust you? How do you expect us to extend to you privileges such as embedding with a unit? This is not a game. There are lives on the line. A unit's cohesion, its morale, its military effectiveness depends on all the parts, all the people who are part of this team, including visitors such as embedded reporters, playing by the rules, getting along, being trustworthy, not violating their word or the rules that govern these engagements. And based upon his previous engagement with this command, he showed himself not to be trustworthy, not to be credible, and therefore they made a judgment that they were not going to partner with him again. They were not going to extend to him the privilege to embed with one of their units again. At least this request was denied. He has not been blackballed, I am told, by this command. He has the right to apply for another embedded opportunity. But I must tell you, if indeed we are to give the unit commanders the ability to make judgments about who they want in their unit, and we believe that's important, it should come as no surprise to anybody if unit commanders in Afghanistan are apprehensive about doing work with this reporter in light of the previous experience that their commander had with this reporter. I don't know why that would be surprising to anybody or unreasonable to anybody. You're only as good as your word, and clearly they don't believe his word is worth much. Yeah.
Wikileaks has apparently posted an encrypted file called insurance that's 40 times as large as what they originally posted. Is the Defense Department making any efforts to try to find out what exactly is in this file?
Yeah, I'm not going to speak to those types of things. One last question. There was another hand. Oh, no, Yoso's been patient. Yoso, God, I always do that to you. Yoso has been patient.
On Marines' relocation to Guam, the final environmental impact statement was released, and it suggests the relocation to Guam by 2014 is not sustainable because of the deficiency of Guam infrastructure. What is the current standpoint of DoD on this issue? Has DoD given up on target year 2014?
I have no developments in that respect to share with you. I don't believe there has been a change to our fundamental position on this. If there is a change, we'll certainly get to you, but I don't believe there has been any. Yeah, NHK. That's you, right? You're NHK. What?
TBS.
God, you confused the heck out of me. Okay, TBS.
Question on Hiroshima.
Turner Broadcasting
Tokyo.
System. Ah.
Same caller. Sorry. Got to keep you on your toes.
All right, go.
Question on Hiroshima anniversary. Is there anybody from this building joining that delegation?
I don't know. We can certainly check on that.
Do you have any statement out of this building? It's because this is the first time a delegation, U.S. delegation, is